Hello and welcome back to Seconds Out. My name is Ayman Khan, here with the one and only Mark Tibbs. Mark, as I was doing my interview prep, I was searching across YouTube and I came across a video. It was Mark Tibbs versus Wilson in an IBA fight. You were looking sharp back then. Do you remember that?
I did actually. I think I was about 45, 46 years of age, and someone asked me to do a charity match and for the Down Syndrome Association. And so I'm glad I did it eventually, because I met a guy called Paul Zanon who ended up becoming an author. And my dad wrote a book with him, his very first book, and I think he's written about 10 books since, you know, on big UK boxing stars and some Mexicans as well. So something could come out of that. But I realised I had the experience, but was a little bit vulnerable upstairs, if you know what I mean, around the whiskers. But yeah, it was fun. That was fun.
Well, you're looking sharp then. You're looking sharp in the gym with your proteges. You've got Johnny Fisher and Joe Bartel. Just getting a bit more of an in-depth take from you in terms of when fighters come through your doors and say, "Look, I want to train with you." When you get those first few moments with them, what do you look for them in terms of their abilities to say, "Look, I can work with this"?
Yeah, well, listen. First thing, you know, it's really difficult to explain, but because they've all got different qualities and negatives as well. But mainly, when you give an instruction, they can adapt to that instruction. Is always really good and helpful, and less draining for me, if you know what I mean, as a coach. But you know, if they give me themselves, then I'm probably happy to work with them, you know. But I've got to see potential, and I have to see potential. And does that make sense?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. But but it's really nice when you get someone like John Hedges come into the gym. That's he's like training a Rolls Royce. He's without pedigree. Without experience, I should say. He's got pedigree, like amateur pedigree, but he's got readability. And Joe Bartel, Johnny Fisher's coming on really nice now, considering the limited amateur experience he's had. He's coming on wonders. He's had some good sparring with good quality boys recently. I never normally start sparring 7 weeks out, but you know, I'll now know that you know, we've got to learn on the job as well. With John. He's doing a great job, doing a fantastic job. So yeah, I've got a wide range of boys and girls, and as I say, you know, you've got to bring out the best of each and every one of them, and try and iron and smooth out the stuff that's not so good, so they look a bit more natural. If you know what I'm saying. Of
the fighters in your gym, who would you give the distinction of most improved?
Well, I'm not just saying this. They're all improving. If they're not, then you know, we're wasting our time. They're all improving at their with themselves. They are improving, and people tell me they're improving. I'm with them daily, but you know, when people who I trust walk in and out the gym, boxing people, come in and out from time to time, and I trust their feedback, you know. I don't ask for it, but they just give it to me. Yeah, so yeah, they're all doing well. They're all doing well.
With Johnny specifically, who's here in the gym today, a lot of people are kind of looking for... I mean, there's a lot of movement right now in the heavyweight division, especially domestically, since Joyce vacated his British title. So that British title has now been taken by Wardley, who'll be taking on Fraser Clark. So there's movement with Dacus taking the English. How far away do you feel Johnny is from getting somewhere like a Southern area title or something along that kind of ilk for Johnny?
Yeah, he's not too far at all. Listen, I've been asked that question numerous times on the last 2 or 3 weeks. And as I say, this is what I revert back to. He's had his first 8-round fight that hasn't gone 8 rounds. So he sells mountains of tickets. He's probably the biggest ticket seller in our country right now. And he's had his first 8-round fight. So you know, that speaks for itself. He's entitled to go through the process like every other champion's gone through the process. And listen, but before the end of the year, it'll be another 2 or 3 fights down. It's about right, you know what I'm saying?
And how about Joel? Looking to have, he said his first fight. He said he has a bit of nerves and he's going to have the nerves coming into the second fight. But how about him in terms of prospects? We want to get out as active as possible. How active do you think Joel will be this year?
Well, I hope Joel gets his 6 fights. I think he's been promised 6 fights in this year. But Joel's a very good, he's a good operator. He's a real old school guy, and it was very, very refreshing for him to come into the gym. You know, he's not, you know, he's, it surprised me when a couple of you guys said, "Oh yeah, he tells us he suffers from a bit of nerve." Well, I've never have read it.
Right.
You know what I mean? I think I'm good at reading boxers, and so I've never read that. And but that's normal. Listen, that's normal. Listen, even champions, even multiple champions, got to have nerves to get up for it. You know what I mean? So that's normal. And the more you do it, the easier it gets. But it's never going to go away. You're always going to get nerves, and you want nerves. You want to be kept on your toes. But his debut was cracking, brilliant actually, and he's had some good sparring in Poland. I've been out in Poland doing boxing business over there, and I took him with me, and really gave a great account of himself on numerous occasions, sparring wise. He just saw some sparring here with a big 13.5 stone fella. You know, but I'm very competent in Joel. He's a middleweight. I'm very competent and confident when I'm in the corner with Joel because of his. He's very good under instructions, and he knows even himself. He knows more or less knows what to do, and when he needs tweaking, he's a pleasure to work with. And he, lately, last couple of weeks, he's had big fellas. I haven't got him big fellas. They've had a bit of something about them. The big fellas I've got him sparring. One's been a southpaw, big strong man, and the other one today's a big strong man, but a bit too lumpy for Joel. But because of his attributes of his brain, he can outbox and outfox them and absolutely make them pay in the later rounds, which he did today.
And John Hedges, what's the latest with John?
John Hedges, he just had his first 8-rounder a couple of months ago in London. Come through that nice, maturing really nice as a human being as well. His own man sort of thing, but you know he's good to instructions, very good under instructions as well. And he's had a hand operation that he's been meaning to get it done, but timing hasn't been right. So he's had that fight, his first 8-rounder, got that out of the way, and got some nice rounds under his belt, and he's had the hand operation, and that man's he's going to be another Tyson Fury. I'll put my name to that as well. Yeah, for sure.
Interesting.
Good fighter.
Interesting to track someone like John's progress. Mark, if I get your thoughts on a couple of things away from the gym, first of all, a very interesting fight, interesting press conference we saw the other day in terms of Chris Eubank Jr. taking the rematch with Liam Smith. Now, I remember getting your insights onto that fight the first time around. You felt that maybe Chris Eubank Jr. was a bit too stubborn to kind of take instruction potentially and to help him win the fight against Liam Smith. Do you think he has good prospects in the rematch against Liam?
Do I think he has a good chance in the rematch? If he does his homework, you know, it's a fight at the end of the day. They're two proud fighting men. Yeah. But Liam Smith is a little bit special. He might look a bit basic, but timing and distance and readability, I'll say that again, is just in him. It's in his blood. But let's see if Chris Eubank Jr. has learned a lesson from from that first match. But be a good fight. I think Eubank will go out there and chuck the kitchen sink at him this time, and instead of pitter-pattering about and trying to outsmart the better boxer in front of him. Do you know what I mean? But can't wait for that one. Actually, I was in Spain when that fight was on, and I missed it. So I did catch up on the highlights, but so I'm looking forward to that, and I'm happy that the rematch is implemented for sure for both of them fighters and for us fans. It's a great fight.
Does the Roy Jones Jr. style work for Chris Eubank Jr., do you feel?
Well, listen, look, all styles, I can only speak for myself, yeah. I work with what I've got, I polish it up the best I can, to the best of my ability, and try and add my own stuff or to them like that, but I would never turn anyone into a Mark Tibbs. I used to box. Do you know what I mean? And but that's just me. So yeah, I think Eubank Jr. I've always said it for years. I think he should have worked on his long games. He's got long, slender levers, strong as well. But he's always fighting short. Always wants to swing, and you know. But I thought, you know, it might be a bit too late to start trying to tune up his long levers now. But no, can't wait for that fight. Ayman.
Is there a point where you say, look, Eubank Jr. he's fought George Groves, he's fought Billy Joe Saunders, he's fought Liam Smith. At that top level, he kind of falls short. Maybe he doesn't have the talent or ability to compete or win at that level. Is that something that maybe we should be talking about with Eubank Jr.? Is he maybe not at that level?
For sure, I think that is the case, to tell the truth. That is the case, to tell the truth, and I think that is the case. You've hit the nail on the head. As I said before, we've done an interview before. I feel that I like Chris Eubank Jr. as a human being. I think he's a lovely, well-spoken, articulate, smart young man for sure. And his dad's done a wonderful job on him. But as I say, I felt frustrated when I see him come through the ranks, earlier on, because I felt he was a bit too stubborn and never listened to sensible men around him, coaches, and therefore I feel he would have been a better boxer than he is right now. I think, does that answer the question?
Yeah, no, of course it does. Moving on, a couple of interesting conversations that are happening in terms of fights, especially at heavyweight. Joyce taking on Zhilei Zhang in a rematch. Do you feel like Joyce can win a rematch against Zhang?
I believe he can, yes, for sure, definitely, 100%, and I think is that definitely on?
It seems so. Zhang, I believe, did an interview with IFL, and he said that Joyce has reactivated the rematch. So from that point of view, it seems like the rematch is on.
Brilliant. That is good news. Actually, I feel he's got to get right the wrong right. If you know what I'm saying. Brilliant. I'm pleased to hear that. Yeah.
Were you surprised about how the first fight went?
I was surprised, and I did fancy Joyce, to tell the truth. But then obviously we learned about that stone lighter he was, and he normally is, and I think that played a big part. But tactic-wise, Zhang got it right. Tactical-wise, Zhang got it right. If Joyce never got that eye injured, I still believe he would have caught him later rounds.
Right.
Caught up later rounds. I still believe that, and unfortunately that eye was a problem, and that's why it was stopped.
He came in a stone lighter. At heavyweight, how much of a difference does a fighter who usually fights at a higher weight coming in lighter or higher? How much does that change a fighter coming into a fight like that?
Well, he was fighting up against a humongous man, a big man as well. Big man, and a southpaw at that. Do you know what I'm saying? So normally Joyce is the bigger animal. He's the most imposing animal over everybody. That's why Tyson Fury is so bloody successful, because of the size of him. And obviously he's got natural boxing ability and vastly experienced. So I feel that he weakened himself giving that stone away that he normally fights at, for sure, against Zhang, who's a big, almost 20-stone man. Yeah.
Does the way that fight went about with Zhang change your perspective on how a Joe Joyce versus Joshua fight goes about? Because beforehand, a lot of people were saying that Joyce now beats Joshua, but if you heard people who saw the sparring between Joyce and Joshua back in the day, they said that Joshua used to get the best of the sparring. Does what happened against Zhang change how you feel potential Joyce versus Joshua fight goes?
I still fancy Joyce, to tell the truth. Joshua. I don't know why. I know he gets hit too much. I don't think he's ever going to correct that. He ain't corrected it now. Do you know what I mean? And it's just that size and the over-imposing he has on his opposition most of the time. I mean, he was really on fire when he boxed Joseph Parker. That was a flawless performance for me. And to be fair, going back when he boxed Stavern back at Wembley a few years back now, Joyce boxed Stavern.
Yeah.
So I wasn't feeling Joyce, but he improved. For me, he improved and he got better, and that was the icing on the cake against the Joe Parker fight. I thought, wow, he's found. He was like a magnet on that floor, gliding and sliding, you know, and whipping them up. And do you know what I mean? He was phenomenal, and the way he put that left hook in at the end, do you know what I mean, was great. But yeah, Zhang, credit to Zhang. He got Joyce's number that night, but I feel I'd back Joe Joyce in the rematch for sure. Yeah.
You mentioned to me before about mentality and feeling like someone like a Joshua his mentality might have changed, where he might not be as good as he was before because of that mentality switch. What do you see in a fighter to pick up those kind of, to notice that a fighter's mentality has changed? What are the things that you see in the ring or the attitude changes that you see make you come to that conclusion with someone like Joshua?
Say it again, sorry.
So you mentioned before in interviews with myself, like someone like Joshua has had a bit of a mentality change in terms of his fighting style. Maybe because of the fights with Ruiz have changed him in terms of how he thinks and maybe not wanting to get hurt. What do you see in the ring that makes you come to that conclusion? Like what do you see?
Well, he seems a little gun shy, a little over cautious in certain situations. So, you know, you haven't got to be gun ho and willy nilly, but he just seems a little bit tentative. Not a little bit, quite a lot. Since the fight in New York against Ruiz. And then his style's got a little bit confused. You know, that's what I think.
Mm-hmm. How do you feel a fight with Tyson Fury and Zhilei Zhang would go?
Interesting, but I back Fury. Fury just because of the, Fury's not getting any younger. None of us are. But what I'm saying is, so everyone's going to tip over that edge. It could be Fury's time, but I think Fury's he's a beautiful boxer. He knows how to climb in heads and basically, you know, he's a good trickster, a good boxer, and great boxer in fact. Knows how to tie you up, knows when to press, when to apply pressure, when to come off. You know, I'm not saying Zhang's as big as him, and you know, Zhang's as big as him, and be an interesting fight, be a good fight, but I still back Fury.
Someone you know very well is Dillian Whyte. It's all quiet on the Western front for him in terms of who he's going to fight. There was an interaction between him and Martin Bakole in Poland, which could have gone to blows. I don't know if you saw that interaction, but where do you feel Dillian stands in the mix right now?
You think so?
Well, I'm not sure where he is right now. Where do you feel?
Yeah, well, I thought you said he's in the mix right now. I'm not too sure if he is. But I think for him to get in the mix again would be a fight with Joshua. I can only see that fight at the minute, Joshua. If he's in the mix with Joshua and he has an emphatic win, then he's in the mix. But it would have to be an emphatic win. You get me? And same with Joshua, I think. I mean, you know, I think they need each other, them two. You know what I mean? I think it's a good fight for each other. And for us fans alike as well, British boxing fans. Yeah.
Who has the edge over the other right now?
I think they both need to address certain things in their style when where they are in their head, but I think it's a 50-50. Yeah, I think it's a real 50-50. I mean, AJ has always been a quality conditioned athlete. I think Dillian lifts too many heavy weights. That's just me, not judging. But I think if they can get it right, it's a real good fight, and whoever comes through is back in the mix.
Final thing I want to touch on, next weekend, John Ryder gets his shot against Canelo-Alvarez. Look, we obviously here have a lot of goodwill towards John Ryder and want to see him do well, and finally got an opportunity that we feel he deserves. Over in America, though, they're kind of writing him off. Is it a mismatch? Is it what the Americans are saying? Is this all weighted in Canelo's favour? Or does John Ryder have a bit of a shot here?
Listen, John Ryder's got a shot because he's a real fighting man and he's strong, and it's well overdue and it's well deserved. He has a shot. He's a real fighting man. He won't fear anybody. He won't get to him, and he's very, very strong. Difficult to slip shots from Canelo. Takes a few, you know what I mean, John? But he has every chance in the world because of his strength and his mentality. And just I wish him all the best, and we'll wish him all the best here, and well deserved, and good luck to him. Good luck to him. Tough fight, as we know. But listen, two fighting men, and as I say, you can't keep winning and winning and winning and winning. You got to, we're all getting older. So let's hope he's got him at the right time. But it's a tough ask.
You're someone who's game planned for Canelo, and you've seen him up front, up close and personal. Are there many holes in Canelo's game?
Not really. I mean, the only mistake I feel that Canelo made against Bivol, right, was going up. He can't keep going up and fighting bigger men. Fighting bigger men with men who've had hundreds and hundreds of amateur fights and good professional fights at the top level. It's difficult. So I wasn't surprised he got beat against Bivol, to tell the truth. Canelo. I think I said I wouldn't be surprised if he comes unstuck in this. I think Bivol will always have his number. He's too small for a light heavy.
If John was to win, how does he do it?
He would. I think he'd have to rock into his boots. Canelo, rock into his boots. He ain't going to do him on a distance fight. He'd have to set it up and catch him with a 2 or 3 shot combination a couple of times on target and on point. And he's got the power. As I say, he's a strong man. He's a fighting man, and he's got a good, strong brain mindset.
Would it be seen as one of the biggest upsets if he did do it?
Of course it would. Yeah, 100%. Because everyone's writing him off. You just told me they're all writing him off.
That's true. Yeah.
Of course. Good luck to him.
If Canelo does come through, what would you like to see him do next? Would you like to see him try and avenge the defeat to Bivol? Would you like to see him try and fight a Benavidez?
I think a Benavidez fight, or I don't think he'll ever beat Bivol, but I'd like to see him. He's got the cojones to take the rematch, and if he can get a game plan right, Bivol has a bad day. It'd be a nice 1-on-1 on the record, wouldn't it? So. Who knows? We'll see.
Just final thing from me, Mark. Gervonta Davis versus Ryan Garcia, a fight that we needed, and we saw it last weekend. Did you catch it? What did you make of that fight?
I've seen the highlights. Ayman, and I fancy Garcia being a long-rangey operator, but he dipped and he rolled. I'll teach my fighters to go underneath with that shot, but he went underneath, he saw it, boom, went upstairs. Great shot, great finish, and great finish. As I say, I've only seen the highlights, but great finish, and glad everyone got to see it in the end. Yeah.
Of the small highlights that you did see, a lot of people are kind of, as with boxing, especially on social media, they're kind of gunning for Garcia, maybe saying that he quit in the ring, he could have got up. Did you feel that way, or is that a bit harsh to maybe say that?
I think it's a bit harsh because, when you get clots, can you go down with body shot or chin shot?
Body shot.
Body shot. Listen, people who've never been hit properly at the derby would never know. Would never ever know. A body shot is as punishing and as painful as having your light switched out. You know what I'm saying? So listen, no, I don't think he quit.
Mark, we'll leave it there. It's been a pleasure speaking to you. Thank you so much for having me at the gym. Look forward to speaking to you again soon.
Thanks, Ayman. Top man, mate.